Alrighty folks, in Warzone's history there's been guns that have been so broken they have transcended the whole concept of overpowered. I'm talking infinite bullet velocity, bullet penetration, that kind of broken. The kind that actually wasn't ever intended by the developers. That's what we're discussing in this video and in chronological order, so strap yourselves in and be prepared to reminisce about absolutely busted contraptions like the buffed FAL. In Warzone's early life, the FAL wasn't in the conversation of top tier guns at all. That is until it received a completely over the top buff to its damage stats and multiplier. Like, the FAL just went on a totally reckless steroid program and became the fastest killing gun in the game by far, killing fully plated enemy players in just 360 milliseconds, almost twice as fast as any other gun at the time. But what specifically was broken here? Well, the devs decided to give it a 105 damage headshot range, meaning you could one-shot an unplated enemy up to 18 meters or so. But even if they are plated, you're taking a third of their health with just one shot, and considering you can spam this thing hard, killing an enemy in 3 or 4 shots rapid is child's play. Now, the devs did see they had overcompensated the FAL, and it didn't take long for them to realise the mistake and remedied it with an appropriate nerf. I find it hilarious when one of the worst guns in the game suddenly becomes the best, and this was certainly the case with the FAMAS with its 12 gauge deputy shotgun attachment. This thing could easily one-shot full health enemies out to around 15 meters, which is just absolute carnage. A shotgun attachment should barely one-shot an enemy even with the barrel poking the enemy's eye socket, never mind 15 meters away. It probably should have a maximum range of half that, but for a very short time this was the most dangerous weapon Warzone had ever seen. The only thing that kept it from truly swallowing up Warzone like a black hole of despair was the fact it only had 8 shells to play with before you had to pop a munitions box to refill it, but still a small price to pay for wielding unfathomable power. To everyone's relief though, the devs did fix the underbarrel shotgun by nerfing it so hard it's essentially unusable. We're okay with that. When the SPR was first introduced to Warzone, if you happened to be using the Norma or Lapua ammunition, this gun had basically 9999999 meters per second bullet velocity, or as it's known in the gaming world, hit scan ballistics. Essentially, whenever you shoot the gun, the bullet will draw a straight line to infinity instantly, almost like turning a laser on and off. That means the barrel, if your barrel is lined up with an enemy at the other side of the map, at the moment you pulled the trigger, you would hit them. Now, those of you who played COD games back in the day will remember this was how guns in COD worked in traditional multiplayer with smaller maps, but in Warzone, hit scan projectiles simply cannot be a thing for balance. To complete the mangledness of this gun, according to stats guys like Exclusive Ace, the bullets actually disappeared after the 400 meter mark, so even players wanting to run this gun like an actual sniper couldn't do so. Thankfully it was fixed, and the SPR still enjoys an obscure place in the mid-range sniper meta today. Before we get into the next broken gun, I want to say to those 10,000 unsubscribed viewers here, please hit the subscribe button if you enjoy Warzone and want to see more videos like this. We'd love to have you around here more. And the same update that brought us the SPR came its severely broken sibling, the FAL, and honestly, if you thought the infinite bullet velocity was bad, what do you think about infinite bullet penetration? Might be kinda broken, right? Well, with the SPP 10 round mag attachment, you were blessed with exactly that. Infinite bullet penetration, or essentially bullets that did not take into consideration any material or object they had to travel through. And I'm not talking just simply shooting through one barricade or something, I'm genuinely talking shooting enemies through multiple buildings and every object inside those buildings. This was easily one of the craziest features on a gun I had ever seen, not just in Warzone history but COD history. And you know, theoretically it didn't have to be that great, because it's not like you can see enemies through walls. Oh wait, except you can for 2 seconds with the legal wall hack snapshot grenades, which was the extra ingredient that made this FAL setup unplayable. Don't get me wrong though, for the brief time that this was the case, I was making life absolute hell for campers in Warzone, and that was about the only redeeming aspect of this gun. Campers had absolutely nowhere to hide, but of course this couldn't stay for long and it was fixed by the devs. Now, we all know the Cold War integration kinda broke the game in general, and we discussed the overpowered guns like the DMR, AUG and so on, but something I don't think gets mentioned enough is just how completely broken the Raider stock attachment was in the beginning. Just briefly, right, this thing would essentially make you strafe side to side faster than actually sprinting whilst shooting it, which is Absolutely unreal. It made Cold War guns like the FFAR way better than anything from Modern Warfare. Seriously, go back and watch pre-patch FFAR gameplay and you'll see this wild strafing going on. Incredible, and it took a long time before this was sorted. However, the Modern Warfare guns weren't done being broken yet by a long shot. Oh no. See, at some point the Modern Warfare sniper rifles with a variable zoom scope had no glint on them whatsoever, and this was a major problem because glint is like the only thing that keeps snipers in Warzone from being completely overpowered. And for a good while after some seasonal update, we all had to battle against these no glint snipers picking you apart and you have no idea where from. This was incredibly frustrating to play against until they fixed it. And finally, the last completely broken gun to my mind was the buffed Fennec, aka Vector. Those who know the Fennec know it's not all that great. It's got an incredibly fast fire rate, but its pitiful bullet velocity makes it unusable after like 8 meters. You'd be better off with a shotgun. However, the devs did realise it needed some love and they tried to buff its bullet velocity by 13.4%, but they accidentally buffed it by 1340%, giving it the fastest bullet velocity in the game, even faster than sniper rifles, and essentially making it hit scan, which I have to admit at that point that's just funny. Imagine being able to shoot players out the sky with this thing. It's amazing. But thankfully, before things got too crazy with this, some dev put a decimal point in that buff and it got its intended stats. Please leave a like and comment your favourite broken gun in Warzone. Mine has to be that 10 round AS FAL. I love that, and actually if you want to see me using it at the time, click the video on your screen right now.